Welcome to Love of the Game. I'm your host, SJ, and we're doing our NBL1 East show. My round 11 review went really well. Appreciate everyone for tuning in and listening. Now, today we're doing the round 12, some massive games, huge playoff implications. We're going to cover every single game. We're going to cover the biggest winner and loser at a round 12, the Love of the Game Dream Team 5. Kick back and enjoy some NBL1 East content.
Then you come outside, now inside, Christian. That's why they give you hundreds of pounds. Now you know you're fitness. You got the whole world vibing the same. You ain't doing it to rock and change. You got love for the game.
Now, game one, we had a Wednesday game, Origin night. Whoever organised that, take a good hard look at yourself because that was brutal. Sydney Comets, the red hot Sydney Comets, entering that game on a 3-game winning streak, 113, defeating the Hills Hornets 94. And man, the Sydney Comets just blitzed them early, off to a big start. The big man Johnny with a thunderous dunk, and that was a statement, man. On the footage, you see the whole camera shake, and man, you kind of felt that. And they went on with it, 18-point lead at halftime. Bawali Bayless continuing his red hot form. 35 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists with 2 steals. Aubrey Kai, 18 points. Christian Akuso, 17. And Chol Adup, 16. And the Hills Hornets, they had Liam Moss, 23 points. And Saxon Orsini, 18 points off the bench. And my biggest takeaway of this game is the Sydney Comets bench. I mentioned Chol Adup, 18 points. And Mundine, 8 points. They combined as a team, shoot 9 from 20 from 3, with those two boys in particular doing their part. And that's what the Sydney Comets need. Look, you know what you're going to get from Bawali Bayless. Aubrey Kai has been red hot of late since he's come back from injury. And they just need that third piece. If Christian Akuso, Matthew Wacher, Chol Adup, and Mundine, if one of them can just be consistent, and you're getting that from Chol at the moment. So if they keep that up, man, Sydney Comets is going to be a team to watch. Game 2, you had the Central Coast Crusaders 97, defeating Illawarra 93. Now, this was an all-round team effort from Central Coast Crusaders, because normally when they win, you see Robbie Heath, 30 points, 35, but now production from all 5. Ben Stevens, 22 points and 16 rebounds. Thomas Akaromi, 21 points, 6 assists. Robert Heath, 14 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists. Luke Cassidy and James Trustham also scored in double digits. And for the Illawarra Hawks, Riley Abercrombie, 27 points, 9 rebounds. Lachlan Dent, 23 points and 10 assists. And Matthew Thiessen with 21 points. Now, my biggest takeaway from this was the 3-pointers from Illawarra Hawks. Last week, over 50. This week, they shot 45 threes. Hit 15 of them for 33%, while the Crusaders also 33%, but 9 from 27. And the Crusaders still won the game. The thing that impressed me the most was in this game was Robert Heath. When I saw the score, 97, I thought, you know what, man, he would have jacked up threes too. You know, once the rhythm of the game is just all threes, I thought Robert Heath would get involved. But nah, 14 points and 8 assists, and the rest of the team got going. And if the Crusaders can keep that up and Robert Heath gets his 25, 30 points, they could finish off the season on a good run. So, yeah, congrats to Central Coast there, because they're a great team to watch. Good fun. Game 3, you had the Manly Sea Eagles 89 defeating the Centre of Excellence 82. This was my match of the round. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Manly blitzed out to a 31-13 first quarter lead, and then they kind of pegged them back until that great ending that we had, but I'll talk a bit about that later on. Jonas Harper, 26 points. Matthew Eldridge, another double-double, 19 points, 17 rebounds. Lachlan Clark, 18 points. And Mason Bragg, only 8 points, but 10 assists, 5 steals, and 2 blocks, so always doing his part. And for the COE, man, as I said, down 31-13, and Luke Fennell and Kyle Savage, 26 points and 19. Kept them in it, man. Just kept grinding away, chipping at that lead. And, man, with 2 minutes to go, they were up 6. And my biggest takeaway from this is Lucas Nickel, take a bow, man. Enjoyed your call. With 2 minutes to go, down 6. Lachlan Clark gets the steal. And then a minute to go, my man, Matthew Eldridge, a dagger 3, got the pass from Mason Bragg. And man, I've been calling it, shoot that three, and he did. That was the dagger. Iced the game, and then Jonas Harper closed it out with about 23 seconds to go. But I enjoyed Lucas Joy and passion calling that game, and he's really close with that team, man. So when he kind of has those moments, man, it comes from the heart. So I thoroughly enjoyed that. And respect to Manly, that was a big win. They could have botched that at the end, but they kept their composure and got the win. Game 4 was the KO freebie game of the round. The Maitland Mustangs 112 defeating the North Bears 93. And this game was massive for the Maitland Mustangs. They went to Canberra round 11 and lost both games against the Canberra Gunners in Centre of Excellence. And William Cranston-Lown, 21 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. Billy Parsons, 18 points, 10 rebounds. And they got production from Christian Little, James Hunter, Daniel Milburn, Jay Cole. One of the biggest takeaways was Matthew Gray, only 15 minutes. But Daniel Milburn's been rolling, so coach, go with the hot hand. And for the North Bears, you had 25 points from Robert Moore and Mandra Worthy, 22 points. My biggest takeaway from this was at three-quarter time, Mustangs up 75-71. Now, I mentioned just then that Mustangs got bounced 2 games down there in Canberra. That would have been a disgusting road trip, and that drive back would have been painful. But after third quarter, you kind of wanted to see what this team has. And boy, did they deliver, man. 37 points in the fourth quarter to North's 22, and they blew out that lead. The score kind of says that it wasn't a close game, but man, that game was interesting all the way down to the fourth. And William Cranston-Lown with a dunk, alley-oop off Christian Little. Now, I don't know if those boys practiced it back down there in college, but man, I didn't know he had those hops. So respect. I remember William on the show saying, bro, I need to get myself some more highlight dunks, and certainly delivered. So hats off to you. But yeah, man, it was a good win for the Mustangs. They kind of needed that win and just solidifies their position as one of the top 2 teams in the NBL1 East. Game 5, you had the Newcastle Falcons 78 defeating the Hills Hornets 76. This was definitely my upset of the round. Miles Cherry, 19 points. Ryan Beastie, 16 points and 12 rebounds. And for the Hills Hornets, they had their imports deliver, 28 points, 11 rebounds for Chris Bryant, and Ishmael Sanders, 17 points with 4 steals. Now, I have 2 takeaways for this game. My first one is Newcastle. Please fix up that camera angle, man. When some of these players are shooting that jumper or 3, you kind of lose sight of the ball there for a second, and you're kind of just like, shit, all right, we'll find out if it's going to go in. But just lift it a bit. Just lift up that camera angle a little bit, and yeah, let's enjoy the game thoroughly. And my second one is Jaden Goodwin, man. Wow. He had 30 seconds that he should save because, look, tie game, got the game-winning bucket with 23 seconds left, and then followed that up with the game-winning steal on Chris Bryant with 4 seconds left. So, Jaden Goodwin, I know it's been a tough season there for Newcastle, but yeah, hats off to you. That was actually my love of the game moment. You hitting that jumper, because, bro, when you got to talk to that announcer too, man. You shot that jumper and he called short. No faith. But I'm glad you hit that and then backed it up with the steal too, so respect. I actually hoped you got fouled and shot the 2 free throws. But yeah, hats off to you. Number 6 was the Sydney Comets 94 defeating the Hornsby Spiders 87. I don't need to say it, but Wiley Bayliss, once again, 31 points, 9 rebounds. Aubrey Kai, 23 points and 15 rebounds. And once again, I mentioned previously, Chao Adup, 13 points, and Mundine, 9 points again. They both combined for 5 from 9 from the three-pointer. Goes back to my earlier point. They need production from a third man. And at the moment, Baby Charles producing. And if, honestly, Chol, Mundine, Waisha, and Akuso with Big Johnny, if they can just do their part, because you know what you're going to get from Bawali Bayliss, 30 minimum. And Aubrey Kai is good for a double-double every game. This team is moving up that ladder real quick. And if they can find that consistency, deadly team. Stephen Hall, 23 points, and Aaron Redhead, 18 points for the Hornsby. Continuing their good form of late. This team, honestly, man, watching them, I wasn't watching them, I'll be honest with you, but catching up with their stats and watching some of their highlights, I thought the end of the year was going to be a tough run for them. You know, when you kind of just had that tough year, you just wanted to end. But these boys have been balling, having fun. And yeah, my biggest takeaway from this was, as I mentioned, that third piece for the Sydney Comets. Look, Joe Adub delivered today and Anthony Mundine, but they need that consistency. I know Akuso, big man, and Waisha didn't score double digits this game, and he kind of showed in the score. If they can deliver, man, this Sydney Comets team score 120 easy. And it's going to be a team that a lot of teams are not going to want to play in the playoffs. It's going to be interesting to see how far they go. Game 7, you had the Albury Wodonga Bandits 107-88 against the Inner West Bulls. By all-round team effort here, man. Mitch Dance, respect here. 22 points, 11 rebounds, missed the hustle. I was commentating that game against Manly, and this guy just hustles. I'm always in the right spot. Offensive rebounds, I think he grabbed 6, so respect, 22 points. Led the team. Sean Montage, 21 points, 6 rebounds. William Hickey, stuffed the stat sheet again. 19 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals, and 4 block. Kevion Blaylock, 17 points, and Jacob Signorak, 15 points. Now, Kevion Blaylock, I know your parent, your mum and your sister came down to watch you, so tell them I said hi too. Big love from me. You came on the show, talked about how excited you were, so I hope they're enjoying, and hopefully you took them to Melbourne. For the Inner West Bulls, Alex Higgins-Tisha, double-double again, 22 points, 11 rebounds, but my biggest takeaway from this is, look, you have the Maitland Mustangs and you have the Canberra Gunners. But other than that, man, look, those two teams are beatable also. And Albury, they have the pieces to shake this competition. And, man, they got it. Jacob Sinkirak, 15 points. Mitch Stan, 22 points. And Sean Montage, 21 points. Kevion Blaylock and William Hickey have delivered for this team week in, week out. So if these other pieces can deliver, man, this team's going to make some noise. And it was good to see Sean Montage break out, 21 points. And I was going to break it now, man. Love of the game, dream team member, Sean Montage. But Lachlan Cummins shot 1 from 11. If this team is to take that leap, because look, you're not going to get 22 from Mitch Dance every game. And this team is top heavy. They have about 6 or 7 plays that they rely on heavily. Now, game 8 of the round, you had the Canberra Gunners 118 defeating the Sutherland Sharks 88. Now, the Canberra Gunners were short-handed this game too, missing a few plays in their starting team. But with this team, they just insert players and everyone knows their role. And Glenn Morrison, continuing his rich vein of form, is he an MVP contender? And William Mayfield, triple-double, 26 points, 11 assists, 10 rebounds. James Tui, 16 points. Lachlan Smith, 15. And Austin Clark, 11 points. And for the Sutherland Sharks, you had Brian Williams, 35 points, playing a lone hand. But my biggest takeaway from this was the Canberra Gunners, NBL1 East favourites. The way this team is like a well-oiled machine. I'm actually going to do a segment where I'm going to compare NBL1 East teams to NBA teams. And I have the Canberra Gunners as the Denver Nuggets. And the reason why I say that is because, look, they already won a title. And they have that big man. They know what you're going to get from him every game, Glenn Morrison. You got William Mayfield, energy guy. And look, 26 points, 11 assists, 10 rebounds. Are you going to get that every game? Possibly not. But you know you're good for 18, 7, 7. So if he can claim that average over 20 a game, this team is near unstoppable. Best team in the league currently. And just that road trip to Canberra must be ugly. So this team's always on the front foot. But, bro, they got production from everyone. James Tui, Lachlan Smith, Austin Clark off the bench. And I love Lachlan Smith. Microwave scorer. You kind of know what you're going to get, like 12 points. But, man, there's times where he can just take off. And, look, got the starting opportunity and he delivered. And, man, this team, as I said, they all know their roles. 31 assists to 14 this game. The ball doesn't stand still. And for me, the key to having this team elevate is William Mayfield. and he's got it in him. I love watching him play, bro. The aggression, just that in-your-face attitude, that tenacity. And as I said before, man, you're going to get 18, 7, and 7 from this guy on kind of an average night. So if he can take that to a next level, good things ahead for the Canberra Gunners. Now, the Bankstown Bruins, 89, defeating the Penrith Panthers, 84. Andre Wolford, 18 points. Jack Lopez, 15 points. Hayden Blakely, 13. And Naaman Hightower with a double-double, 13 points, 11 rebounds. And, man, my biggest takeaway from this game was, look, this was a big weekend for the Bankstown Bruins. They needed to win both games, and they've moved themselves into the 8th spot now. And that comes down to the last game of the round, which was once against the Bankstown Bruins 68, defeating the Manly Sea Eagles 60. Man, when I saw this score, I had to just double check my eyes to see if I was seeing things. Maybe the NBL1 East didn't refresh or something, but yeah, 68 to 60. Naaman Hightower, double-double again, 16 points, 11 rebounds. Andre Wolford, 15 points. Hayden Blakely, 12 points. For Manly Sea Eagles, you had Mason Bragg with 23 points and Matthew Eldridge, 16 points, 13 rebounds, double-double machine. My biggest takeaway from this was, that was tough, man. Manly, 31% shooting, 19 points in the second half, and 19% from three. So this was a tough game for Manly. Definitely a winnable game, but goes back down to Bankstown. 2 back-to-back wins against Penrith and Manly, where honestly, they could have and should have lost, but they got the job done and they're in the top 8. And that goes to my biggest winner and loser out of round 12. The biggest winner was the Bankstown Bruins. And why the Bankstown Bruins? Because, as I mentioned, two wins where they should have lost, but they gritted it out, got the win, and now they're in the 8. And the reason why I say that's important is they've played 2 games extra. They've played 18, while the chasing pack have played 16. So you got Norths, Hills Hornets, and Sutherland Sharks. And the biggest loser is the Hills Hornets. 4 losses in a row. This team was sitting mid-pack, about 6, and they had these 4 games coming up. And if they won it, man, they would have been pushing top 4. But now, with the way this competition is, they've dropped down to 10th out of the 8th. And honestly, in danger of missing the playoffs, because I told you how good the Sydney Comets is, and they're 7th. So everyone's fighting for the A spot that the Bankstown Bruins own. And they have 2 games in hand on the Bankstown Bruins. So, man, these games are going to all be massive. And this is what basketball is all about, playing under the pressure. So it's going to be good viewing, and I'm all for it. The love of the game, NBL1 East Dream Team 5, brought to you by Precise Accounting. We start off with Bawali Bales from the Sydney Comets. 35 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 steals. Look, he played on Origin night. And if it wasn't for Mitchell Moses, might have had the performance of the day. But, yeah, look, this man has been red hot since his return from injury. Dropped 2 40 pieces back-to-back, and then 35 points again, the Hills Hornets. So he starts it off. Next up, you got Jonas Harper from the Manly Sea Eagles. 26 points, 2 assists, and 4 3-pointers made this game. Jonas also defends the team's best player all game. And look, his 3-point shooting at the moment has been on fire. I think that's 4 out of the last 5 games where he's at least 4. So welcome addition to the NBL1 East Dream Team 5. Respect Jonas Harper. Next up, you got William Mayfield from the Canberra Gunners. Triple-double, 26 points, 11 assists, 10 rebounds to go along with 2 steals. William Mayfield is all heart and all hustle. When he's on the court, he has a lot of energy. And, man, I don't know if he leads the league in dunks, but, man, he loves himself a highlight dunk and another few dunks this game. And, man, they were short-handed, so it was good. And next up, making his debut to the love of the game, NBL1 East Dream Team 5, you got Sean Montage from the Albury Wodonga Bandits. 21 points, 6 rebounds, 3 blocks, and 2 steals, shooting 7 from 10. And, look, Albury Wodonga Bandits have William Hickey and Kevion Blaylock, but if they are to win this championship, they're going to need Sean Montage to deliver like this, week in, week out, and he has it in him. And this was a great, great game for him. And fingers crossed he can keep that rolling, because I love watching Sean Montage play, man. Human highlight reel. And to round it off, for the first time at love of the game, you got 2 players from the same team. Glenn Morrison from the Canberra Gunners, 32 points, 15 rebounds to go along with 3 blocks. He's sneaking up there on MVP talks. And look, he has delivered. The team is number one currently in the NBL1 East. They are my favorites to get the job done again. And it all starts and ends with Glenn Morrison. This team has his system, has his chemistry, and when it doesn't work, give it to Glenn Morrison, and he'll get the results. And his efficiency at the moment, man, is all class. So that's the love of the game. NBL1 East Dream Team 5. Thank you for tuning in, and until next week.